Here with head coach Anna Nimz as Lady Demons. It seems like we've been on the road maybe longer than we have been. It's been 2 weeks, I guess technically, but we did play that champion Christian game, so it hasn't been that long since we've been at home. But we are back at home this week with 2 more conference games, and we'll get to those in just a second. But coach, give me a quick recap, if you can, of this past week's trip. 2 wins on the road, responding after the Southeastern game, and just coming out, playing well, getting a good win on Nichols, and then really turning it on Saturday against New Orleans.
Yeah, I think the last 2 games we've seen some of our best team defense, some of our best team effort in general. And I said it earlier, but from the girls on the bench to the girls that were on the court, I thought it was a collective effort, both in the Nichols game and then in the UNO game. I was excited to see growth in different areas. I thought the girls really focused in on their defense in the Nichols game. They carried that same intensity and execution into the UNO game, and then the growth that we saw in the UNO game is that we've had the opportunity to get up maybe 5 or 6, but we've always allowed teams right back in to where there were a lot of lead changes in a game. And in the UNO game, the girls were able to capitalize once they got up 5 or 6. It maybe wasn't a quick jump, but they were able to get up then 7, then 8, then 9, and it was just a gradual progression, but they never let up. And I was excited to see that they didn't lose focus, and that they were able to maintain the game.
So getting those wins that way, what do you think that does for the team moving forward?
We always hope that it's building confidence, that they're continuing to learn a little more about one another, that they're continuing to trust the process, and that they're continuing to believe in what we're trying to do. We have a lot of individuals that can really do a lot of great things, but what's really exciting is that it's every single kid's getting involved, and every single person starting to really fit their role. A lot of times it takes a while for people to settle into roles or accept their roles. But in the last 2 games, I feel like the girls did a really nice job of that. So we're really hoping that it provides confidence. Thus far, we've been a better away team than we have been at home. So we're really hoping that here in the next couple days, we kind of settle into playing in Prather, get excited about playing in front of our fans, but just really take care of business on Thursday, and then obviously leading into Saturday.
And there's several players that we could talk about over the past week. A couple that kind of jump out at me from those 2 games specifically. Mo was like 12 for 22 or something like that from the field. Got hurt against New Orleans early on, came back, scored 7 straight points in that 3rd quarter. Jemiah made her 3rd straight start. She scores 8 and 9 in those games, grabbed several rebounds. Just you've experimented with a few different starting lineups. Jemiah, like I said, started the last 3 games, and she's been able to be that kind of shooter person, whereas she was more of a ball handler kind of person last year. Where does she fit in the way things have gone the past few weeks, just her getting out on the floor more? Well,
what's really transpired, I would say, is that when she transferred to us, she really lived and died on that 3-point line. And we've told her multiple times, you're not just a shooter, you're not just a shooter. A lot of times right now, I would say Josie Fleischman, she's a specialist. The girl can shoot it, she can shoot it deep, she can shoot it quick, she can shoot it whenever we need her to shoot it. But as a freshman, it's going to take time to develop that downhill ability, whereas, Jemiah, we've really told her that she's not just a shooter, she's a great shooter, but she's got the build and the athleticism to drop that shoulder and really get into the paint, and she's doing that. And so I think that's where we've seen a little more success. After the Nichols game, I told her, and I told her in front of the team that, it's exciting. It really is exciting to see this, because it wasn't that she was overly successful shooting it in that game. She hit a couple, but normally when she didn't hit, we had to pull her, and we had to get her out of the game. That game, when she wasn't necessarily hitting, she made us keep her on the floor. And so that was the difference. She decided to go get rebounds. She created extra possessions for us. She played the backside of our defense really well. She did a lot of things that, you tell kids all the time, winning or scoring points is not the only way to impact winning. And I thought Jemiah bought into that. We're excited. She's a senior. She's got maturity. And so I think she's just done a really nice job. I think that she's accepted her role up until now, and she hasn't let go of that starting spot in the last 3 games now that she earned that role. And so we're excited for her, and obviously we're excited for that growth in just our team and in our program.
You kind of mentioned it, and we're 4-1 at home this year. Maybe doesn't feel that way with the way the Champion Christian game went, and of course the Tarleton game. But getting back here, wanting to continue to play well and continue this this trend that we've started last week. What do you have to do to keep going and kind of get back to where we had the momentum or the feelings that we had in those first few games at home?
I think it's just a day-by-day thing. I think, it's right now it's about protecting their bodies, and it's going to be more about refocusing and regrouping, watching film, truthfully having some fun at practice, disciplined, high energy, great attitude, but we have to have fun. And I think sometimes that gets lost in losses and in wins, that you just have to take everything so very serious. Now, when I say fun, I don't mean we're playing knockout. Fun to me is competitive. Fun to me is getting after it. Fun to me is 5-on-5. So I guess they should have my kind of fun. But I think that we can create a fun environment in practice and keep it short, but make it conducive to propelling us forward in these next couple games. But they had a good practice yesterday. Shot a boatload, as we always do. Trying to score a certain amount of points. It's just in our philosophy to let them fly a little bit. But they put in the work. They had good attitudes, got a good amount of mobility, and protected their bodies. And now the next 2 days, it's going to be very focused on scout and in ourselves and what we need to do.
Speaking of the scout, UIW on Thursday, one of the lower scoring teams in the conference, but one of the more efficient scoring teams. They're top 3 in field goal percentage. What is that dynamic like? Is it just a slower pace? How do they kind of approach their offensive philosophy? Maybe
they're not going to push it as much in transition in the way that we do, but we're not going to adjust our speed to somebody else's speed. No different when someone is playing quick and wants to press. We're not going to speed up for them, but it would be advantageous maybe against us to want to slow the game down just a little bit, but we're going to play our ball and we're going to focus on what we can do to maintain that. They do a really nice job in full court, so they, with the idea of trying to slow a team down, they have multiple different defenses that, we're going to have to prepare for in the next couple days. But as far as them on the offensive end, they're a very effective team. Coach Dow does a very nice job, but I think our girls do a really nice job, and I think our girls have the ability to really get up and guard. And as of late, they've shown that they can make changes mid-game, and so that's exciting, and it's going to have to happen. You can't just be a one-trick pony. You got to be able to do a handful of things well.
Saw one of the best players in the conference at Chelsea Kane against Nichols. We'll see 2 more this week with Moore and Westbrook on Saturday for Corpus. Top scorers in the conference. Is there any difference in the games, the style of play between a Jacqueline Moore for UIW and a Chelsea Kane, or at least in those? We won't talk about Westbrook yet, but just the way they play, the style to play, and if you will say anything about how you will defend them and holding them to their average or below.
I think you said it for me. We're just going to attempt to hold them to their average or below. And while each team in this conference has a couple kids that, really do great things for them, I think the ones that can play through their team the most is going to have the most success. And when you can get multiple people touching the ball, no different than what we try to do. No, I will not tell you what we're going to do defensively. But we'll just say we would like to hold her to her average or below, and then not let anybody just go off and be a catalyst that maybe hasn't been one yet.
Did she play similar style to Kane at all?
I don't know. Brad's asking very personal questions this time.
Well, it's going to be a fun matchup, I think, for sure. On Thursday, obviously, want to get a win and carry that momentum. Carry that momentum forward. I won't even ask you about Corpus because I know you're not telling me anything anyway.
Not even going to worry about it.
Finally, I guess congratulations to your Chiefs. I'm going to be honest. I was rooting for the Bills a little bit, even because what Josh Allen did on those last drives was crazy. But Mahomes is just he's a freak.
It is. I was getting quite a few messages and calls during the course of that game. I put my phone down. I put basketball down, and definitely just supported the Chiefs from afar. And although when we scored our last touchdown and we had a minute left, I said that's way too much time for Josh Allen. And it absolutely was too much time.
Apparently
But
13
13 seconds, I guess, was too much time for the Chiefs. So we'll hope that they can take care of business on Sunday.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.